It's so sad to report that yet again we find ourselves in a situation reporting on another city with lofty aspirations being run by incompetent leadership, abandoned, underfunded, and left in ruins. Boy, if there was only a pattern that we could notice, but no, only Grok wrote some of my script for this video. But before we get too terribly spicy, we gotta get past about the 30-second mark, but I digress. Yeah, Akon's futuristic, yes, that Akon, futuristic $6 billion city project in Senegal abandoned. What? First of all, I didn't even know this was a thing, but I also didn't know that Akon was trying to make Wakanda a real place. Yeah, it was supposed to be Wakanda City. That was, I guess, some of the concept art. But yeah, if you were going to be doing a Wakanda City, where's the thatched roofs on the skyscrapers? Black Panther was just such a great film. But anyways, plans for a futuristic city in Senegal, dreamt up by the singer Akon. Like, I thought he was from Barbados, but okay, have been scrapped, and instead he will work on something more realistic, officials say. The Akon City project no longer exists. The Serengalese head of Senegal's tourism development body, SAPCO, told the BBC. Fortunately, an agreement has been reached between SAPCO and the entrepreneur Akon. Well, he's preparing with us what he's preparing with us is a realistic project, which Sapco will fully support. Known for a string of naughty chart hits, Akon, who was born in the U.S. but partly raised in Senegal. Oh, okay. Guess I'm getting confused with Barbados, mostly because he looks like fresh. Announced two ambitious projects in 2018 that were supposed to represent a future of African society. The first was Akon City, reportedly costing $6 billion. Who the fuck greenlit this? This is wild, okay? It was to run on the second initiative, a brand new cryptocurrency called Acoin. Fuck, bro. This was before everybody started to catch on that, hey, all of these promoted meme coins are actually a scam. And yeah, okay, cool. Ooh, you want to build a $6 billion futuristic city? God, at least come up with your own interesting ideas, because they already tried this. And back in the cut, I mean, like, this would have been so cool because architects are trying to fundraise to build a real-life Lord of the Rings city. Yeah, because, okay, in the interim between the release of Return of the King and the start of The Hobbit, there was this big crowdfunding campaign. Well, actually, let's just go through this, okay? But a self-professed, ambitious team of architects and structural engineers have launched a crowdfunding campaign to raise the necessary funds to build a fictional city created, yes, by Tolkien and visualized by Peter Jackson. Well, Alan Lee probably has the most notable and recognizable interpretation of what Tolkien wrote, which is fairly accurate to the source, but okay, yeah. But brought to the screen by Andrew Lesney. He was the cinematographer for Lord of the Rings, but yeah. Architects ran the numbers and realized that they would need approximately $2.82 billion to fully fund the project. Yes, any leftover money would be used to upkeep and maintenance of the new city of Minas Tirith. Yeah, the five layers of the City of Kings, the capital of Gondor. That was only going to cost $2 billion in 2015 money. I guess it's come out after The Hobbit. That's wild. Nobody wanted to fund like a recreation of Dale or Lake Town, or go into a mountain and hollow it out and make a real life Erebor. That would be cool. But yeah, man, I guess if you want to go, like, all of those places are cool, right? And a lot of the locations from Lord of the Rings are still upkept to this very day in New Zealand. Like, you can go to Hobbiton. I think there's some pieces of the set for Rivendell that are still there, but wouldn't you think Edoras would be a little bit more, appropriate if you wanted to recreate anything? But yeah, if you wanted to go whole hog and go for broke, I mean, like, a real life Minas Tirith for only $2 billion, like, that's not too bad, okay, all things considered. But yes, a product, yes, and a project, yeah, that was expected to last until 2053. God damn it, man, you would need a Numenorian lifespan in order to see the construction of the City of Kings. On their Indiegogo page, the team wrote, "We believe that in realizing Minas Tirith, we can create not only the most remarkable tourist attraction on the planet, but also a wonderfully unique place to live and work." Oh, so they were going to kind of turn it into a theme park. Interesting. The team has given themselves 60 days to raise the cash, which is a steep climb, yes, as the stairs of Minas Tirith will be when the project reaches completion. Yes, You could have donated 100,000 pounds to get a lordship or a ladyship for the city. At the time of publication, yes, the Indiegogo campaign raised more than 16,000 pounds and had 14 days to make the rest. I think it ended up making like $1 million or something like that. But yeah, that was an idea that people had. They didn't convince a government. They didn't break ground on anything because, yeah, there's going to be now ruins in Senegal, which, you know, kind of it fits the motif. Thanks to Akon's vanity project. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Okay. First was Akon City. Yes, reportedly costing $6 billion as it was to run on the second initiative, a brand new cryptocurrency, Akoin. Initial designs for Akon City, which was boldly curvaceous skyscrapers, were compared by commentators to the awe-inspiring fictional city of Wakanda in Marvel's Black Panther films and comic books. But after 5 years of setbacks, the 800-hectare site in Mobodine, about 100 kilometers south of the capital, Dakar, remains mostly empty. The only structure is on an incomplete reception building. Yes, there are no roads, no housing, no power grids. Wow. Even though you didn't construct it, you truly do get the Black City experience. Anyways, we were promised the jobs and development, one local resident told the BBC. Instead, nothing has changed. Meanwhile, the star's Akoin cryptocurrency has struggled to repay its investors. Yeah, meme coins. Yeah, he got rug pulled. Imagine that. There has also been questions over whether it would be legal for Akoin to operate as the primary payment method for the would-be residents of Akon City. Senegal uses the CFA franc. Okay, which was regulated and issued by the Central Bank of West African States, okay? And like many central banks, has expressed opposition to cryptocurrency. The plans for Akon City had been sweeping. Yeah, here's some other concept art, and it looks very touristy, I guess. Phase 1 alone was to include a hospital, a shopping mall, a school, police station, a waste center, and solar planet, all by the end of 2023. Interesting. Okay, so the second Black Panther movie would have come out and probably would have celebrated its 1-year anniversary, and yeah, you could go and see, you know, probably 24-hour screenings of it at one of the many theaters at Akon City. It just yeah. Sitting on Senegal's Atlantic coast, Akon's high-tech, eco-friendly city was supposed to run entirely on renewable energy. But despite Akon's insistence in a 2022 BBC interview that the project was 100,000% moving, no significant construction followed the initial launch ceremony. Oh no! Now the Senegalese government has confirmed what many had suspected. The project had stalled beyond recovery. Officials cited a lack of funding and halted construction efforts as key reasons for the decision. Although Akon City as it was originally imagined, had been shelved, the government is saying that it is working with Akon on a more realistic development. Yes, Wakanda Trailer Park. It'll be so wonderful. It'll all be solar powered, and the amenities will be corner liquor stores and Korean nail parlors and a couple of Raisin Canes. It'll be wonderful. The land near Mobadine remains of high strategic value, especially with the 2026 Youth Olympic Games approaching and increased tourism activity expected. What? But as we read the obituary of these lofty plans, let's take a look at what has actually been left in the wake. Back in 2023, you know, just months shy of the first phase of this lofty city's plans, okay, you had, well, what was supposed to be the Welcome Center, okay, like it looked pretty good, and out there you had Michael Irvin, you know, give some people a tour of the plans, okay, taking a look at the, wow, yeah, that's prime real estate. They weren't kidding on that one, but yeah, more concept art that you have right there, and well, a nice mural, I guess, that was going to be there, one of the only visible constructions of Akon City. That's fantastic. Okay, I'm sure that put a lot of people to work on that one, but well, there's a basketball court. That's pretty cool. And oh, there's your welcome center. Not that welcoming, especially with a lack of roads heading to it, but I guess that's what you expect, and that's what you get when you try to do a deal with somebody in 2018 who hadn't been relevant for a decade at that point in time. Sucks to suck, I guess. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.